back for back. So I did look up whether or not my gym would close early on Memorial Day. No, Labor Day. Whoops, that was a little bit of a misremembrance. Well, it's whatever, man. It doesn't matter what kind of holiday it is. We're still gonna go get a pump. Birthday, Christmas, New Year's. If that's not what day it is, even if that is what day it is, it's either a leg day, a chest day, a back day, arm day. Well, I guess for you guys, it's never a cardio day. I know how you feel about that. It's a touchy subject. But plan right now is to go to the YMCA and to get a gnarly back pump. So with all of these lifts, the day by day goal, go in, go hard, get a pump. But the overarching point of, lifting weights in a dieting context is I'm trying to maintain my muscle, right? I'm trying to use my muscle enough that the fact that I'm eating less food than my body needs to stay the same weight. If you eat less food than your body burns, no. If you eat less calories than your body burns per day, then naturally it's going to tell itself, all right, dude, we don't have the energy to fucking maintain all this muscle. We got to start burning it off. We gotta initiate some atrophication. So the lifting of weights, putting some heavy stimulus, heavy tension, getting pumped. Dude, that is not even funny. That was not even fucking funny. I need to oh my god. I need to tape this fucker down. With the phone, I don't give a shit because it was just a fucking phone. Oh my god. All right, but whoa, oh, what the fuck was I even just saying? Um, yeah. So the point of these lifts, obviously, go hard, get a pump. But since I'm dieting down, I'm trying to burn body fat. I'm not building any new muscle. You can't build muscle while losing body fat. People say, people talk about recomp, stuff like that. I mean, if you're like a beginner, untrained, and you've got some, excessive body fat on you, then in that case, yeah, sure, you could probably build some muscle while burning fat because you're making, newbie gains. And then if you've trained before and you've built up some muscle in the past, but let's say you took a couple of years off and then now you're kind of soft, just sort of, I guess the scenario I'm kind of imagining is just like a dad who was saying oh, I used to do this in high school. If you were jacked before, getting jacked again is much fucking easier than to do it in the first place. Just because you're fucking, muscle memory, that's legit. And I'm not talking about neurons and brain, whatever. To build muscle is literally to grow new muscle fibers and myonuclei, whatever. So, if I were to just eat 2,000 calories per day, maybe maintain a relatively active lifestyle, and just stop lifting weights completely, and I were to just shrink down back to 180 lean, it would take me probably 6 months to get back up to where I'm at now. So to have built it in the first place, that's the difficult part. Now, to build it back, even easier. You get the idea. You get what I'm trying to say. So let's quit yapping and just get back started. I think I'm going to start off with some kind of, I don't even know, some kind of pull down or some kind of row, to be determined. So before any working sets, I'll just sit here and do kind of single arm row slash pull downs. I'm not pulling straight down, I'm not pulling straight towards myself either. But honestly, for me, this ends up being enough of a warm up for back. So I'll probably move on to I don't even know yet. I still got to find out. But whatever first movement I do, start off with maybe, moderate weight for a couple reps. You can go a little heavier, And then by the time I'm exposed to the amount of weight that I'll use for my top set, I'm perfectly warm. So I'm gonna sit here for a few more minutes and then let's cut to whatever the first movement ends up being. Okay. You know what? I lied. Just 2 of these will be good. Let's move on to some kind of pull down. For those curious, no, I do not have a pack of Zins in my pocket. This is the camera cover for the lens. You know, I gotta be fucking careful with this shit now. But, gonna move on to some single arm pull downs. Well, I was about to say I would prefer normal lat pull downs, but honestly, these kind of offer a little bit of a different feeling. Because, I mean, for me, I can throw a lot of weight around on a standard lat pull down, but it's more so of a, you know, throw the weight around kind of set for me, at least when I'm fresh. Whereas with these single arm pull downs, much more controlled, really good squeeze, fucking burning. You know, I'm feeling this not only just like up here, kind of in the front of my lat, but way down low where it connects to the Christmas tree. So let's sit here for a couple. Yeah. Fuck. Oh, fuck. All right. Let's move on to some kind of rowing movement. So this isn't actually my favorite row machine, but it's just different than the one that we were just using over there. So it's good to change your shit up. Don't make your training routine stale. That's the last thing you want. So I'm thinking, throw the stack around, see how it feels. If I only feel like doing one set, then that's what I'll do. But I could foresee doing at least 2 or 3. Oh, fuck. Oh. Okay, 2 more. Yeah, 1 more. I'm definitely feeling a lot of mid-back traps, not a ton of lats on this movement. Which that's kind of the goal. It's a rowing movement, goddammit. I'm gonna finish off with just lat focused movements. I'm thinking pullovers, and I'm also thinking of some assisted pull-ups behind me. So I'll see what sort of order of sets I can come up with in the next minute when I go to the water fountain. I was thinking about doing some kind of pullover drop set, but I mean, the cables I want to use are taken. So instead, I think I'll try to do a set of unassisted pull-ups, very rare sight. And then once I've reached like, a decent amount of, well, once I've approached failure on those, then I'll throw the assistance on. So this should be a pretty good set. I love the assisted pull-up machine, especially towards the end of the lift, because I don't need a lot of weight. I'm just trying to squeeze super hard. That felt pretty good, but I want to just finish off with 2 sets of pullovers. So at this point, I mean, all the heavy weight has been fucking lifted. So I'm really just gonna try to burn the fuck out of my lats. The first set will do kind of slow, controlled, maybe even pause it for a moment at the bottom. And for me, if you've watched every back day, or at least the last couple, you're getting deja vu. Because every time I talk about pullovers, I say how I don't like doing 2 at once. I mean, I know it takes twice as long, but the squeeze for me doing 1 at a time, I think it's fucking worth it. So let's get these 2 sets out of the way and we go check the pump. We're done. Fine. So we're done. But I was going to say, with these pull downs, no, with these pullovers, I'm not just thinking about moving my arm, around my shoulder. Same thing when I was doing those 1-arm pull downs. When I get to the top, I'm trying to open up my shoulder blade and kind of reach and get a little bit of a stretch, and then come back down and flex. Just a little mental cue, if that helps you. But we're done. Let's go check the pump. There we go. Let's see what kind of pump we can check out. Should be pretty freaking decent. So, nothing insanely special about that lift. I mean, honestly, what's really fucking special about any of them, For the most part, I like to start off with some heavy shit, make sure I hit the whole muscle, and then finish off with lighter squeezing sets. Then I get a fucking pump. I was just thinking to myself, I can understand why there's, I don't want to say controversy, but let's just say why there's a lot of energy put into like arguing about the best methods of training, the best splits, reps, execution, rep style. I mean, if you got big, if you developed a decent physique doing something one way, I could definitely understand why you might be biased to think that's the only fucking way to do it. I think if I was the type to do perfect sets in terms of perfect range of motion, I think I'd still probably be pretty fucking big. But for me, I just kind of prefer being a little bit looser with it. I understand, like, you can make this argument. on the spectrum of, making a set easier or difficult, or making a movement easier or difficult, more difficult, I mean. If I were to do curls with perfect form, absolutely zero swinging, then I could make more use out of a lighter weight. And at the worst case scenario, I could do reps with like the same weight where a strict form set would be pretty hard. I could swing so much that that same number of reps could be fucking easy, right? So I kind of like to be somewhere in the middle, just because I don't know, it fucking feels best for me. But if you want to fucking sit here and do, your perfect fucking reps, go hard. Who gives a fuck? If you get big, that's the fucking goal in the end of the day. Developing some serious muscle, some serious beef. But let's see what we're looking like under this back pump cover. All right. Woo. And then the same two poses, but backwards. Ooh, dude, I'm fucking tired. I am tired. So let's get in the car, man. We're done. We are freaking done with back. There we go. That looks about right. I still got some shit set to auto on this fucker. So some of the lighting gets a little funky. Give me some time, goddammit. I'll get the hang of it. Apart from the lift, which is the #1 priority, now I've got a secondary little hobby. Fucking videography. Learning about color grading. But whatever. At the end of the day, that was still a fucking freaky ass pump. As I know we're well aware. If I had to estimate, I'd say give it about a month-ish. Month-ish from now, we should start to look pretty freaky. Especially considering the fact that, I wasn't really very soft coming into the cut. Towards the end of the bulk, honestly, it was sort of like a little bit of a recomp. So, typically what I prefer doing is just going straight from like full-on bulk diet to jumping down to, the 2,500, 3,000. Just because it's a mini cut, all I'm trying to do is, peel off some fat pretty quick. If you got to deal with a lot of a body fat, you might want to be a bit more particular about your maintenance and your deficit and whatnot. I'm not exactly the right person to ask for that sort of transformation. I haven't had to go through it myself, so I don't really know about it. But end of the day, man, as long as you eat in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. And by that logic, which is not even logic, it's just a fact, if you're not gaining weight, that means you're not in a calorie deficit. That means you're eating too much food. Now, too much food does not inherently mean, food's volume. I can sit here and eat like a fucking full-ass plate of sloppy joes that I make, and it can only be like 600 calories because I'm using like super lean beef. I'm mixing in some fat-free cheese, some 0-calorie barbecue sauce, mixing all that fucking together into a little bit of basically kind of a sloppy joe sort of ground beef, just kind of a ground beef with sauce in it, whatever, and then throwing that onto keto buns. Dude, I'm fucking like full. I gotta take a break from eating because I'm like, because I got so much stuff in my fucking stomach. But, I'm not full of fucking calories. So if your problem with losing weight is just, dude, I gotta eat some fucking food, man. You just can't really stand being hungry. Which, that's the name of the game for anybody dieting. You want to try to stay as, you want to have that feeling of being full, of being satiated, right, for as much of the fucking day as possible. So how are you going to do that? You got to eat low-calorie dense foods. Keto bread. Fucking, dude, I'll make a big-ass bowl of salad. I love this like this pre-chopped Mediterranean salad, and I'll have like this whole thing is for like a family of 4, and I just sit there and munch on the whole thing, purely due to the fact that like I'm eating something, but I'm not getting a ton of calories. Now, salad, that is misleading. That is misleading. There's eating like a salad where you put maybe like just a hint of fucking oil onto it, like maybe 5, 10 grams of oil of some sort onto it, and then like vinegar, whatever. Now, a salad is not lettuce where you just drench it in fucking ranch. That is not conducive with a calorie deficit. Uh, just because you're eating a food that you would call conventionally healthy does not mean that you're going to lose weight, right? If I were to, I could sit here and be eating purely yams, sweet potatoes, rice, lean beef, chicken, like what, all sorts of fucking, what, kale, you like that? Fucking super foods. And if I ate a fucking ton of it, I would still get fat, right? The main fucking thing you got to focus on in terms of changing your body's composition, mainly in terms of fat, muscle, obviously you got to throw protein into the mix. But just in terms of gaining fat or losing fat, the only thing that matters is the amount of fuel that you're putting into your fucking body. So if you're eating too many, if I was eating a calorie surplus of, healthy foods, I'd still get fat. And if I was eating a calorie deficit of what you'd call conventionally junk foods, I'd still get lean. Now, that's not the easiest way to do it. For me, it's easier to eat a ton of foods when they're calorie dense, lots of sugars, whatever. I do my cardio. If you put on excess body fat in a bulk, like if you're seriously just packing on like tons of body fat when you're bulking, then you're eating too much. You should still maintain 15% on a bulk. I would not recommend getting any higher than that, because then you're going to have to deal with all that fat that you put on. So, yeah, and then same thing. I mean, well, not the same thing, but when I'm cutting down, every so often, I may try to eat a little bit less in the morning so I can have a sweet treat later on. Like I just had a Klondike bar last night. Dude, those are good. I got a bunch of the Heath ones, and that's 13 grams of fat and 24 grams of carbs. So I don't give a fuck that it came from a little ice cream bar, but I do give a fuck that I plug that into my stupid simple macro tracker and I don't exceed my 2,500 calorie limit. All of today, like, I mean, today was kind of weird. I woke up really late. I did not eat a lot of food before that lift, but the only thing I've eaten today was a can of Kirkland chicken, 45 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, and a packet of ramen, which was 52 grams of carbs and 14 grams of fat. Those are definitely not what you would call conventionally like dieting foods. You would not call, like, you'd probably be pretty surprised if you paid a coach to like write you out a diet and he gave you that meal. But it doesn't fucking matter what the meal is. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, 45 grams of protein, baller, 20 grams of fat in one meal. That's probably a little too much. I'd want to cut that down. So I guess that was a little bit of a fat heavy meal. But 50 grams of carbs. I've got 260 at my disposal for the day, so that's not that crazy. So if you can kind of, I made this joke earlier, if you can sort of teach yourself to see the matrix and understand that, food is food, but it also is composed of the same basic building blocks, fucking fats, carbs, and proteins, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to manipulate the way that your body's composed, because you can fucking be a little bit of like you can be the bouncer for your body. Oh, you're not getting in. Let's say you're in a deficit and you're like, it's midnight and the deficit's starting to hit you. You got to be like, oh, vanilla ice cream in the freezer? Yeah, don't even think about it. Oh, I'm just going to have one spoonful. Anyone that has ever dieted consistently and like is actually serious about it, they know that going for one spoonful, that doesn't happen. You don't just eat one fucking spoonful of ice cream if you open up the freezer. So it's better to just fucking stay away or schedule a refeed day. But, you know, the more you can control yourself and maybe just like drink a Sprite Zero instead to give yourself that, you know, a little bit of sweetness, then you're fucking good. So plan now, go home, probably eat some egg whites, throw some fat-free cheese onto it, then I don't know, just keep eating and chill. It's 4:30. I don't think I've lifted this early for weeks. I get the whole day to just fucking float around. God damn it. No homework yet, so luckily I don't have to deal with any of that shit. But very soon. Very freaking soon. So let me turn so I don't crash. And I'll see you next time.